Hello, everybody. Hello, I'm here. Just trying to get everything set up on the computer. I know I'm starting a couple minutes early. Sorry about that. But I've got all kinds of goodies I want to show you today. So let me get around here where you guys can see me. Gonna give myself a like and then go look at the live chat. Well, hello, Sophia. How are you today? I just got done looking at your channel like 2 seconds ago. I see you're at 792. Yes, 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 yes. Almost to 800, guys. You'll be at 1,000 before you know it. And I laughed at your short earlier. She has more videos up than she has subscribers right now. That will soon change, I'm sure. So, and what are you working on today? Anything fun? That applique quilt you've been doing is killing me. It is so cute. Colleen just sent me a smiley face. Can you hear me? You went out for pie and peas? That doesn't sound like a good combination to me, but pie here means something sweet inside the crust. I think that's different in the UK. You're just doing FPP? Just. I can't do FPP. I stink at it, so. Yeah. I've been doing a little fiddling in the craft room today. I got the in the hoop embroidery done on the one little like partial quilt that I have. I don't love it. I need a lot more practice at it before I do anything important. I have a hard time keeping everything lined up. Cheese pie tonight. Awesome. So I'm going to practice on that some more. But while I've been digging through my room, I found some stuff and I was like, oh, well, let me check this out. You ever seen this stuff? That light. This is sewing and craft tape from Dritz. And I thought it was the same. I thought it was the same stuff as what I use for purses. But this says it's for quick basting, temporary repair on hems and seams, and used to position shoulder pads for fittings. And it says, do not stitch through tape, remove before pressing, laundering, or dry cleaning. And I'm like, what good does this do me in my sewing room? I have to figure out if there's a use for this, otherwise it's going in the trash. And if you have a use for it, let me know. Anybody, in the comments. I'll keep it until next Thursday. And if I haven't found a use for it, or someone hasn't said, hey, or somebody hasn't said, hey, I'll use that, then it's going in the garbage. So that's sitting right here beside my computer. Thank you very much, Sylvia. I'm trying on the flying geese. Let's see, you're at 792. I looked at Colleen. She's at 1,070 plus. Once you get over 1,000, you can't see like 71, 72. You can only see it in increments of 10. Once you get over 10,000, you can only see it in increments of 100, if I remember right. Yeah, exactly. If you have to remove it, what's the use for it? I'm thinking double-sided tape to hold pictures up or something, but I'm not going to do that. I am not going to do that. So I have cotton cuts listed on the chat. I am going to do my number 3 cotton cuts block. These are from my number 2 and my number 1. And all these ladies that are doing this on Stephanie's Zoom meetings are putting theirs back in the little plastic bags and storing it. And I'm looking at it going, I don't know how you're getting that back in that plastic bag. So I went and bought these couple of cookie sheets, and the cookie sheet will hold all of the stuff. I'm keeping everything related to this, the envelopes, the plastic, the little cards, and I've got them stacked up in order. And I'm going to keep it all together on this cookie sheet until this project is done. And I know there's either 10 or 12, but I thought, well, that's probably the best way for me to keep track of it, because then I can store it right up here above my sewing area, and I don't have to worry about where it's at, and I don't have to go gather. Ah, come here. This is my old purse. Any chat is disconnected. Why am I disconnected? I'm frozen. Don't freeze me. Come on, unfreeze. Hi, Lynn. Okay, am I back? All right, so this is my old purse that I've been carrying for years. I really love it. It's just, I'm bored at this point, and it needs to be washed. And then I don't know if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to give it to one of the girls. Depends on what they want. And then I have been working all weekend and all week on this. And this is my new purse, zipper placket at the top, piping, an outside pocket, inside pockets. You can use that tape when you do in the hoop applique or embroidery. Oh, that's an interesting thought, Shirley. Because I was just looking at, I did a couple of blocks that I finished up today on the in the hoop. Hi, Tracy. On the in the hoop with the quilt. I'm trying those edge to edge quilt designs, and I need a lot more practice at it. So I'm like, okay, but that's an idea, because I was thinking it would be nice if I could hold it tighter, and all I could think of was binder clips, like the big binder clips. So that's a good idea. I may try it on that, see how that works. So this, like I said, this is my purse. I have videoed making it. Editing the video is probably going to take me longer than making the purse did. And the only reason the purse took as long as it did is because I was designing it as I went, and wasn't 100% sure what I wanted before I started sewing. But what I ended up with is a fairly big bowler type bag. I don't know, that's 11 inches across and 8 inches tall. And it's got pockets inside for all of my stuff, including a specially made pocket for my EpiPen, which I talked about in a video a little while back. I have to carry an EpiPen because I'm allergic to wasp stings. I got stung by like 100 yellow jackets way back in the day, back in my late 20s, early 30s. And at that time, they told me, they said, your body can't afford another sting. They said, you're venomed out, you're done. So I have to work on that. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I really like it. I've had the fabric for quite some time. It's a light canvas, and I still have a good bit of it left. I ordered this from Walmart. It's a 2-yard cut, and like I said, it's a light canvas. It kind of sews up like a light denim, and it wasn't bad. I did it all on the Baby Lock Jazz, even through layers and doing binding on the inside, so you had like 8 layers of stuff. My Jazz handled it fine with a 9014 needle. I didn't have to put a jeans needle in it. And the Jazz handled putting my piping on easily too. And I do have a video coming about all of it, but like I said, getting all the little pieces of video put together is going to take as long as making the purse. So probably I'll work on it this weekend. I'm hoping to put the video up sometime next week. Might be as late as Friday. But I already put up a picture of my pattern. And here is my entire pattern, guys. You're gonna laugh at me. This is a piece of a sheet, and I just drew everything on there, including where I wanted my outside pocket. There is a picture of this. There is a picture of this on my community page, and I tried to get up close because I drew a 1-inch test box and a 4 centimeter test box. I don't know what they normally use in the UK, Sylvia, but I wanted to make sure that you could be sure you were printing it at the right size. Hello, Ellen. How are you today? The last time I talked to you, you were driving home after all those tornadoes. Did you have any damage at home? I hope not. And yeah, I have, is it still laying here? Yeah. This is what I normally use if I'm basting. And this is like bag maker's tape. It's extremely thin and it's dual layered. So when you peel it up, there's actually, that is the paper and the tape. And you can sew through this pretty easily. You don't normally sew through big lengths of it, so it's not a huge issue. But that's what I thought the other stuff was too. And then when I pulled it down and was looking, I was like, no, that is not what I wanted. And that needs to go in that drawer where it belongs rather than sitting on my desk. Yeah, this is a little different though. This specifically says don't sew through it. This is a Dritz sewing and craft tape, and it actually says don't sew through this. And you have to remove it before you iron, wash, or dry clean. So I'm imagining that this isn't intended for use for sewing since they've got those disclaimers on there. Yeah, and I do have the double-sided basting tape. That one's 1/4 inch, and I think I have 1/2 inch somewhere, but I never use 1/2 inch. So, but anyway, so this is my entire pattern. And the first question I got, Sherlock sent me a message and said, did you use a gusset? I said, yeah. How big's your gusset? So I didn't put that on the page. I made my gusset 5 inches because I wanted my purse to be at least 4 inches from front to back. You can make your gusset basically any size you want. If you want a skinnier purse, you could go all the way down to, I wouldn't go much smaller than 3 inches unless you really want a little width purse. And then I guess the sky's the limit on how wide you go, except that on mine, I only used SF101 for interfacing. I didn't use any fusible batting. If you want your purse to be more sturdy, you may want to put fusible batting in there. So that's the pattern, the purse, the fabric. Fabric is, like I said, Walmart. It's a light canvas. I looked for it yesterday. I didn't see any more of it. So if you want to use that same fabric, you may have to search through the Walmarts and see if they still have it. You're still not home yet? Is your sister down to visit, or is she down and you're there helping her? Gotta be specific for me. And I talked to Lori Quilting in the Country a few days ago. They still need prayers. She's doing as well as she can possibly do, but you know how that goes. I'm looking to see if there's an idiot spot to open this package. I never remember on these cotton cuts. Yeah, I used, actually, because I didn't have any medium weight, I used 2 layers of the lightweight. And in some places when I'm sewing it, you can see that some of the SF101 doesn't like to stick to itself. But I struggled through and got it done. And I think my purse came out cute. And, you know, it'll probably be the purse I carry for the next 10 years. Okay. Making sure my little package is empty. And I showed off my my new way of storing all this stuff. It's a cookie sheet. It was $1.50 or something at Walmart. I thought, yes, that works for me. And then I have, this part is acceptable to show from what I understand. I have the cornflower small that I'm doing. And I didn't go on Stephanie's Zoom to sew this the other night because I got it like 10 minutes before she went live. And I was like, I am not going to try to go on the Zoom and do that, especially since, you know, it was just me and Patty C moderating. And I wanted to make sure that she had moderators there. Ingrid came in a little bit later, which worked out great. And I could have gone in at that point, but by then everybody was like mostly through their blocks. Not that there's usually problems in Stephanie's. I just like to make sure that I'm paying attention. You know how that goes. All right. So in order to do this, I'm going to bring you guys to the other camera. And I mean, I assume you use Heat and Bond light in making barrettes. You'd love to try something different. Miss Ellen Heat and Bond light works great for some applications. You guys see that? Magic, magic. Make sure I get this where you guys can see it. There we go. Okay, so this is how your cotton cuts come. They come already pre-cut for you and everything stacked up. And the last thing that I want to do is move all of these things. But I need to slide it off gently so that they all stay in order, so that I can look at my clue here. And it tells me how to arrange my fabric and what I'm going to need. So I always need this thing when I do this because I have to look at this to figure out what goes to that. So there are 4 A's in here that are right angles, and I always count them. And I also double check that everything is right side up because they aren't always. I mean, I don't have to explain it to you. If you guys all know how to do this, I'll just sew it and chit chat about other stuff. We can do that too. Oh, Tracy, you would have laughed at me. Well, you will laugh at me when you see the video because it took some work to birth my bag. And this is why you have to have the little, yeah. Oh, well, you've already done it. Well, Lorraine, you should be giving me tips on how to do this. Basting tape is 1/8 of an inch. Then maybe I've never used basting tape, Shirley. What colorway are you doing, Lorraine? I'm always nosy. All these hand emojis. Are you guys trying to see if you can make my bot mad? Since it has done it before. I think I removed the emoji restriction as long as everybody's being good kids. Okay, so that's all that. And then I need to red, white, and blue. Oh, I bet that's pretty. Not sure I've seen the poppy. I've seen, well, one of Stephanie's lives is the reason that I'm doing this at all. I want to put my 1/4-inch foot on here. I was watching and Karen, Karen, Karen Bradley, I'm not sure, was doing the cornflower, and I sat there and drooled. And then when they said it was like $20 a month, I was like, honey. So yeah, bad influence. Those lives are. Those lives are bad influence. Okay. So I have 1 and 1. So that's why I'm doing it. And I was mad at my mailman because, you know, my stuff should be here on time, doggone it. All right, let's put this one on there. And I can never save thread on these because I never am 100% sure. So I just cut as I go. Oh, you're going to make it into a quilt of valor? That'll be gorgeous, Lynn. Do you have a veteran to give it to, or just going to gift it through a quilt guild? I may be making a big boo-boo right now because usually I do these on my Juki instead of on the baby lock. And usually if I do a quilt, I like to do it all on one machine rather than switch up. Anybody got any questions about anything, including this? Yeah, you guys can see. I'm just making sure that you can see what I'm doing over there. I probably should have sewed that with the other side up so I could make sure I didn't lose that point, huh? Yeah, this one does look pretty simple, Elaine. And I'm proud of me. I kept my point. Not bad. Okay, so that's done. And then I want an A, which is right here. And 2 B's. Hey, Nancy. Yes, you caught me live. Uh-oh. She found me, y'all. Nancy's always got something to do at 2 o'clock on Thursday. And I wasn't really sure how well this live was going to do today because I had issues last week with trying to go live on YouTube. And then I put a video up and I didn't like the way that went, that premiere. Because about the time everybody got warmed up and started talking, the premiere was over. Didn't talk anymore. That's no fun. I'm trying to just press that over, not pull. That fabric is really light. I'm like, oh. Yeah, Sylvia, I was looking at your Amazon list today. I was trying to figure out how to work it from the US to UK. I still haven't figured that out. And I called and talked to customer service at Amazon and not helpful. So I was like, okay, what are we doing here? Yeah, 2 A's. You have room for a cutie, Lorraine? I have a cutie frame, but I only have one Juki, and I hate moving it back and forth. But I need to get my cutie up and running and start using it way more. Have you checked out the closet quilter, Lorraine? She literally has her cutie frame set up in like the master bedroom closet. Lots of good tips there for how to use it easier. And she does stuff with hers that I didn't think you'd be able to do with that with the little frame. She's done Trapunto on there. I watched that whole series. Older lady, but I enjoy listening to her. She's got an accent I can't quite place. Usually I'm pretty good at them. She gives lots of good stuff, and she likes Lori Holt, which is probably one of the reasons that I like her. And we're going to sew until either I run out of bobbin or I finish this block. And either one could happen. My bobbin's getting low. I didn't make another one before I came on live because I forgot. Definitely, I assume Linda Harris is your sister. Last week, when I was giving out the list of people that need prayers, I mentioned Tiffany and I mentioned Mom, and I feel bad. I neglected to mention Vickie Lamere, and I got news a couple of days ago that Vickie passed away, unfortunately. So I wanted to make sure I let everybody know that. Um, there is a GoFundMe that I believe was started by her husband, and it's to help pay for funeral costs and final expenses. I believe that she was just entering hospice when it happened. So if you guys are acquainted with her husband or family, please be sure to, give them your condolences. I'm sorry to hear that. She's one of the first people I met on YouTube. Cannot shake the feeling that I'm doing something wrong here. Piece of my F fabric left. I'll see you in just a second. Ellen, you've been in the hospital a couple of times lately too, I think, or so I've thought I saw on your Facebook. I'm hoping all of that's over for you for now. I didn't do anything wrong. I missed the part where it says make 4. That's what's wrong. Wayne, tech support, has been going for tests on some stuff. So far, all the results have come back well, which is good. But he's got one more big one that we're waiting on results from. I'm hoping that comes very quickly. Oh my goodness, Wayne. I definitely hadn't heard that, but then I've been kind of busy making a purse this week. So I haven't been anywhere or seen anything. I watched Tiffany's video about her son. I can't even imagine that pain and would not wish that on anybody. I'm gonna try one more here. I wouldn't wish that kind of pain on anybody. My granny had 10 kids. She buried 5 of them, and my mother was the 5th. And we were talking while my mother was in her final illness, and she said it doesn't ever get easier, no matter how old your kids are or how old you are. Just seems doubly tragic when they're so young. I mean, my mom was my age when she died, so she was still pretty young, in my opinion. Wayne, that's just terrible. I get distracted, there's always Jack. Yes, seam ripper, seam ripper. Oh, I am almost out of bobbin thread, and yes, I am distracted. Oh, just the thought of her calling the EMTs herself. Wow. Oh, that's just, I do remember from when my mom was at hospice, there was a man there who had brain cancer, but he was, and I believe that's what Vickie had, but he was not conscious. Yeah. Anytime that I was there, I talked to his wife a couple of times. She said that he didn't have pain, but his sleep and wake cycles were all messed up. So he would be awake at night and asleep during the day. And he did pass while my mom was at hospice still. Ooh, and I kept I'm impressed. I kept the point there without having to do it as FPP. And I did just run out of bobbin, guys. So we're going to go back to the other camera. I'm not going to wind a bobbin on the live. That's just too much noise. And I appreciate you guys praying for Wayne. He's very lucky. I mean, he had a stroke and got up and walked out of the hospital without any major issues. I mean, that's just amazing. Brenda has blood cancer. I'm so sorry, Tracy. That's horrible. I'm hoping that it is treatable. Oof. I'll finish. All this terrible news. It's just awful. I don't even know what to say. I pray for everybody, and I think I'm frozen, which stinks. I couldn't sleep last night. I had a really rough night. It wasn't from pain. It was from just couldn't turn the mind off. You know how those nights go? Yes. I'm really happy they caught it early. But I have one of those nights where you just can't turn your brain off. And I laid there and laid there and laid there, and I went through, everybody's got their thing they do to go to sleep. Well, first I tried to conjugate verbs in Spanish, which I stink at. And then I tried to write a story, a synopsis for a story. And then I was like, okay, let's write a video. You know, all the stuff that I use for my little put myself to sleep tricks. Or you plan out your garden or some long, boring, tedious task that you know you've got to do. And I was just like, okay. So after about 2 hours, I got up and I came in here, and this was the result of 2 a.m. scrap sewing. I just picked up all my scraps and I put, looking for my little piece of paper. I have a little Dresden paper floating around in here that I use. And I just like picked up the scraps and pinned this to the top and then cut them out and put them into a block. So I was like, okay, at least that's something I can do. And you're worried because she's been tired a lot lately. Tracy, does she take B12? Wayne they thought he had cancer. Turned out that he takes omeprazole for GERD, and the omeprazole robs your body of B12. And B12 is what binds iron into your blood. And all of he was in the hospital over a week, had an upper and lower GI. He had a bone marrow biopsy. I mean, every test you can think of, they did on him. And it turned out that he didn't have enough B12 in his body to keep the iron in there. He didn't have cancer. She gets B12 shots. Okay, well, that's not the answer then. I was hoping. I mean, after that long, expensive time that Wayne was in the hospital, I always mention it to people because it was such a simple solution. He just had to take mega doses of B12, and his oncologist is the one who encouraged that because B12 is water soluble. So if your body doesn't need it, it just comes out in your pee. 3 more pounds. Hey, Nancy, I remember trying to get my mom to eat anything under the sun so she would gain some weight. She dropped all the way down to, I think it was 88 pounds there at the end. It was like, oh my goodness. So, and of course, all of us, her sisters and her daughters, were all going, oh, we'll donate weight for you, Mom. You can have all of it you want. She's like, bring it on. She saw a hematologist yesterday. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Well, I hope it all turns out well. It's scary, though, to hear that big C word. It's like, oh no, oh no, what is this? But it is good news that Terry's gaining weight. I didn't know your husband's name, Nancy, so thank you. I'm glad to hear that he's gaining weight, and I'm hoping that his cancer is gone. One of my longtime friends that never smoked, never absolute goody two shoes, never smoked pot in high school, never smoked cigarettes. She was diagnosed with lung cancer about 4 years ago. And she's had a lower lobe removed. She's had all kinds of stuff done. And she is still battling this, but now they're down to no spots. Now she's just having to do drainage. And some of the stuff she's been through, I'm like, good night. So yeah, it's really scary, but it is good news. Okay, so I've run myself out of bobbin. I've showed you my purse, and I've showed you what I did last night when I couldn't sleep. What else can I show you guys today? I am playing with pieces. I found a little stash of, I guess I cut them a while back with my scan and cut when I was making the covers for my sewing machine and my scan and cut and stuff. So I have, I don't even know why I kept all of these, but some of these have heat and bond on the back. Some don't, most don't. But I'm thinking I'm going to take these and try to put them into a scrappy block of some kind and add it to the design wall. You want to see my purse? I will show it again, Nancy. No problem. I'm proud of it. And this chair is just horrible, horrible. So here's my purse. It's got a pocket on the outside, which I'm quite proud of. I made it smaller than Tori makes her pockets. It's got slip pockets on this side. My cell phone fits in there perfectly. And I've got room that I can like slide my keys in here because I'm always looking for my keys in my purse. Tracy will recognize the rainbow zipper. And the little silver zip that goes with it. Thank you. And I used sheet inside, and in the video that I'm working on editing, I talked about how I was okay with the raw edges on the inside. Turns out I wasn't, so I went back this morning and added binding to it off camera. But I just made my own binding from leftover fabric. And I did put a zipper pocket inside, and the slip pockets inside are made with this. Okay, Ellen, you have a great day. But thank you, Nancy. I like it. And I was talking earlier about it took me longer to make it because I kept trying to film everything. And because I didn't know for sure up front what I was going to make, but it's probably going to take me, yeah, rainbow, probably going to take me even longer to put the video edit together than it did to sew the purse. And I sewed the purse in little spurts. And I put piping around the outside edge, used my serger for that. And I found out, this is a short I put up yesterday. I needed a cording foot for the jazz to be able to put the piping on easily. I could do it with the zipper foot, but I was like, I really want a cording foot. And I was proud of myself for my organization skill because I was thinking to myself, well, where do I keep the cording foot for my other machine? And I have a picture frame on the wall with like a typed out list that tells me which drawers I have which feet in. So I easily found the cording foot for the brother machine and brought it over and played with it on the Baby Lock Jazz, and it works 100%. I was so happy. So now I'm going to have to pull some of those other feet out and play with them on the Jazz and see how far I can get with that. So yeah. Yeah, rainbow. That's what I bought 10 yards of, Tracy, is the rainbow zipper. And I've still got the bag sitting right here. I really like the colors on it. You can almost see it gold, green, there's some blue. And then it comes with a little bag of zipper pulls. I think they give you 15 or 20 of them with it. So that was a good purchase. I think I paid $10 or $20 for all of that. I need to go put it back in the zipper bin. So yeah. Lorraine, it's possible. It's also possible that she got it from a million different environmental things. I went to high school at a school that was newly built in the 80s. I graduated a few back in the 80s. But out of my graduating class, and there were like 500 of us in that class, so roughly 250 to 300 girls versus boys. I know of 30 women who've had breast cancer out of that graduating class. And a lot of them, one of them was an Air Force pilot. So she's, super fit, a long distance runner, a couple of gals who are like actresses and that kind of stuff. Not many of them had major risk factors for breast cancer, except that we all went to school together. And there's also in the same town where my high school is, there's an area where there is a cluster of 8 people who had brain cancer or have brain cancer, have or have had, because some of them have passed. So it can be environment. Yeah, I did a little serger. I did some on the serger, some on the sewing machine, partly because I'm trying to show some uses for the serger that a lot of people might not think about. I did my zipper plaque on my sewing machine because I wanted to top stitch it, and I was like, why go back and forth between the machines? But I really want to do a zipper placket on the serger just to show how well it works to do it, and then iron it out and lay it out so you can see it. But I didn't want to do that as part of my purse. But yeah, I did serger for more of it than I thought I would. And I really probably could have used the serger to finish off my edge instead of binding, but I didn't want the thread on it. I really wanted the binding on there. And I think it was the right choice for me. But anyway, Lorraine, very much your mother's breast cancer could be related to family members who smoked, or it could be related to other things that you don't even know about. My mom or my uncle worked at Camp Lejeune. He did 2 tours in Vietnam, and then he did 3 tours at Camp Lejeune as a drill sergeant. He was 5'4" and weighed 140 pounds, but boy, he could bark. He was the biggest, baddest thing walking when I was a kid. And Ronnie lived at Camp Lejeune. I believe that he retired from the Army or from the Marines, whichever one he was drill sergeant for. And he died a couple of years ago because of drinking the water at Camp Lejeune all those years. My other uncle, who had gone in with him, um, didn't ever live at Camp Lejeune. And they both smoked, they both, drank, ate all the high fatty stuff. But, they both worked hard and never got big. Um, but Ronnie died, and my other uncle is still alive. So, I don't know. There's lots of things that contribute to that kind of stuff. But so more surgery videos are coming. I've got to edit the purse video, and that's going to be the big one for this week or this weekend. I'm hoping I can sit down and do it. And then the last thing I want to throw out there, because I think Sylvia's put everybody's links in there. Sylvia, did you put your own in? I hope. But the last thing I want to throw out there is this. Some of you know who Tans is, which is Wayne's buddy. Tans's wife. I'm trying to make sure I use appropriate terms here. I don't want to end up being offensive, but I don't know what the terminology is they use. Wife, girlfriend, spouse, whatever she is. Her mother is in the hospital and has been ill lately. So if you would add her to your prayer list, I would appreciate it. It's Mrs. Alvarez. I don't know her mother's first name and wouldn't use it if I did. But if you would please give some prayers for Mrs. Alvarez, I would appreciate it. Okay, so all the links are in. Prayers going out to Tiffany, to Mom and Pop, to Vickie Lamere's family, to Mrs. Alvarez, to Terry and Nancy. Hopefully you'll get good news on that scan when you go back. And I will let you guys know, probably via the community tab, if we get the results back from Wayne's test before Monday. If I don't get the results back before then I will tell you guys Monday night during the live. And last Monday, we got some big time thunder boomers, and I was not happy. But I'm really glad that I canceled the live when I did, because the electricity, I would rather not do the live than have you guys, have to deal with that, because it takes a few minutes for everything to come back up once it goes out. Okay, so Sylvia says, be kind to others because you're kind. Colleen says, be the light you hope to see in others. And I hope you guys caught the short. I saw that on somebody's profile page, and the picture with it was a Molotov cocktail. And I thought it was hilarious, so I put it into a short. So be the light you hope to see in others. And Colleen isn't wishing Molotov cocktails on anybody. And I'm saying, if anybody's looking at your stuff close enough to criticize it, tell them to go home. You guys have a great day. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you Monday, if not before. Bye, guys.